Okay, I'm now live. Back, English. Presentation, part 2. Post it, and then I'm gonna pin it. Shoot, how do I pin it? How do I pin it? Okay, I see it. Got it. Okay, guys. Since this is a presentation in English, I'm gonna continue in English, if you don't mind. Okay. So we'll wait for Alina. Rusia. This is our Vancouver gang. So we're here to continue talking about MasterKit. It's a tool to work with your subconscious blocks. It's really interesting. I've been using it for more than 2 years. I have my friend Alina. She's gonna join us soon. We actually had the first part of this live video in her account, and we had some technical difficulties, so we switched to mine. I know at this point most of the people that are watching is an Russian speaking audience, but because the agenda for this live video is English, so we're gonna continue in English. Alina, we're waiting for Alina. Okay, meanwhile, whoever has not seen,
Sorry about that. I have no idea. I just want to quickly apologize. Oh, you're beautiful, Mr. This is mine. Apologize for the technical issues. I'll fix those. This is my second time ever going live, but yeah, we will continue, and then we'll wrap up our session, and yeah, let's continue. We're talking about the frequencies and differences.
Yeah, so basically just a summary of what I was explaining, right? MasterKit helps really well with the way to deal with stress, because right now we know how to actually gauge stress. We say, oh, okay, you're stressed.
Yeah.
Or like Apple Watch can say, oh, you've done this much work and this is your heart rate and stuff. But there is no tool right now in the world to actually regulate it. So what MasterKit does, it's a patented tool that helps you regulate your stress levels. It's a self-regulation. So for example, we go to psychologists, we go to psychiatrists, we practice that a lot, right, in the Western world, because it's a common thing. So
Yeah.
You're sort of like, the more you do it, you're sort of more dependent on someone's expertise. And everybody has their own prism, right? We have our own view. So when you go to a psychologist on a regular basis, you're sort of dependent on what they're gonna tell you. So imagine if you're traveling somewhere, something really bad happened, and you don't know what to do in that situation. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna call your psychologist, or are you gonna wait till you're back to your country to see your psychologist? And even before that, you're gonna wait to make an appointment to get in, right? So there's a lot of freedom that this instrument gives you, because you become independent. You can work with your own self at the freedom of your time, and spend probably around 15-20 minutes a day to fix those situations in your life. So I know there's a lot of things that you probably may not understand from the first time, because like I've been using it for a long time, so maybe I'm using some terminology that people don't understand. But like, first of all, I wanted to actually mention those amazing books that the author, Daria Trutneva, she's 29 years old, and she came up with that tool. She's really awesome, and I had a pleasure to meet her and talk to her. And when you start talking to her, like you talk to her for 5 minutes, you understand things differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know, right? So these are her books, but they're in Russian. So, but there are links
English version.
in mine and Alina's profiles in English. You can actually download it and read it really fast, and like they're really
They're like 70, 80
like
pages.
easy read. Yeah, you're gonna read it in like 30 minutes and to an hour, and it gives you a lot of constructive, good stuff, very concise information without too much water. You actually can do some practice exercises here to understand your subconscious picture of money, or
Hmm.
rich people or poor people, or mm, whatever you are, whatever you want to fix in your life or achieve in your life. For me, I've been using that instrument as a goal accelerator because I'm a goal digger, right? Um, some people have trash situations in their lives. Some people, like I know many people, and some of them I actually know them, who have treated cancer. And I know it sounds like, oh, like, it's miracle, it's magic. But what it does, it actually helps you fix those emotional wounds that you had, from your childhood. And if there is lots of somatic explanations of our diseases or our illnesses, because we have our
Hmm.
emotional body and we have our physical body, right? So whatever we have, I don't know, like some illness, it actually like sort of like appears in our body to show us, to signal that something is wrong, but we choose not to notice it, right? We don't notice
Yeah.
it. And then that thing aggravates so that you pay attention. But we don't know what to do with it. We're like, okay, we treat it symptomatically. We buy a bunch of medications, and like we try to fix that the um, the consequence of that
Hmm.
illness, not the root cause.
Yeah.
So, like time goes by, like with cancer, it's actually, if you maybe maybe you've heard about it, but cancer is nothing but a release, or like an expression of a really long and deep resentment. When you've been wronged, when you had really bad relationships, or mm, I don't know. There's a lot of scientific research to that, but mainly the cancer is when you feel that insult or resentment, or something
Or
something that you've been holding for many many years, and it just expresses. So sorry,
yeah.
Alina, I'll finish my thought. It expresses itself as a physical illness so that the person notices and fixes the problem. So
Hmm.
that's how our subconscious is trying to show us, okay, like, this is it's a signal. Something is wrong. Please look at me. Please fix this. But we don't know what to do with it, right? We look at it and we're like, okay, they do chemo and all of that other stuff. I'm not telling that you can use only this tool and treat cancer. No, it's a really good supplementary tool that will accelerate your well-being, like
Healing.
your healing. Yeah,
Well,
and
not
it
even
happens.
talk.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to mention, not even like, if say we're not going to talk about cancer, like even the headaches. Like I personally suffered from migraines. All my
Mhm.
friends that know me, I've been suffering from, like, I would wake up with a headache, I would go to sleep with headache. I was like, my constant state was migraines, headaches, my eyes were like red. And I thought it's something that was something in my bloodstream, in my neck. I was, oh no, it's because of my, I don't know, my wrong bite. And I thought, oh, maybe it's because I sit differently. No, once I started using it, I realized I had constant migraines because I was holding a massive grudge towards someone and something, and I
Mhm.
wasn't letting it go. Like I would, and I started analyzing through that tool. I started analyzing and letting that grudge go. And I also had that feeling, because I'm a person that I don't hold grudges. Like in my head, I know I never hold grudges. I don't really care. If I offended someone, I'll apologize. But in that specific situation, I wasn't realizing I was holding a grudge. And then once I realized I'm holding a grudge, then I realized, no, that's not me. That's not my being. I can't be. That's not my image. I don't hold grudges. But then I started like working through that tool, finding out what the root cause, as Myra said. And now, like I only have headaches if I really, really had like 2 hours sleep, or even not only that, if I really like hit my head, like I got rid of headaches, and it's like one of the best things that happened to me for the past year, and I'm so happy. Like, and why I'm talking about it is just any sickness, basically you can link to it. Whatever is happening inside of us is actually a reflection like of our out environment and how our body and mind reacts to it. Hello?
Yes.
I can hear my echo.
You guys are dead.
Okay, now it's fine. I think now it's fine. I don't hear you.
I'm not talking.
Okay, maybe that's why. Okay, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Like, let's continue on. And then I think we should soon wrap it up, and then, yeah.
What I wanted to mention is that maybe you're hearing about this tool for the first time, because as we said in the previous live, this tool is quite popular in the Russian-speaking world, because the creator is from Kazan. She's from Russia. She's not from Kazan. She's from a different city, but right now she lives in Kazan. But they wanted, for the rest of the world to know and enjoy this tool. So they, I assume you all know who Michael Nobel is. He's the great descendant of the Nobel, the actual Nobel. The Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel Prize in I don't know, physics and literature and all of that other stuff. So Michael Nobel is currently curating this program in the scientific world. They're doing lots and lots of research. They have a research institute where they do lots of analysis, and they've proved that the tool is safe to use. It actually, the fastest way to change your reality is through your subconsciousness. And they actually tested so many things, and right now they have the monographs, the books that explain how those work, and you can read a lot of it's not really something. It is a revolutionary thing in a sense that it was actually put together really well in a tool, so that you don't have to look through thousands and millions of books and video materials and gigabytes of videos and stuff. You just use it. Same thing like with our phones or like Netflix, right? We don't have to. We just pay the subscription, and we constantly get new movies. We don't have to go and see how they're being shot, right? Like we just see the end result, and we pay for the convenience of getting things done. Same thing with I don't know, the refrigerator, right? We don't put the things outside of our houses. Well, Kazakh people used to do that. Maybe they do that sometimes too, but for the most part, you know that it's meant to store your things. Or the laundry machine, right? You don't have to do it manually. We're automating things in current world, right? So we're getting used to that pace of growth and high tech. And as far as high tech is going, like it's progressing really well, but our emotional intelligence, our EQ, is sort of lagging behind, because with all of that pressure, we don't know what to do with it, right? So and I'm really happy and really relieved that I found this tool 2 years ago, and I've been getting great results, which actually became the norm, something really normal in my life. It's not a miracle anymore. It used to be that, oh, we did this, we did that, and you're like, you feel so great. But then right now, I've been working a lot, so
You accept it as it should be. Like there's nothing. Yeah.
right. You don't take it for granted, but
Yeah.
you know that the world, the universe is abundant. That you're allowed to get that, and there's nothing wrong with it. With actually expressing your will, your desire to make things happen. And progress is one thing that we cannot stop. If you're standing here, it means that you're behind because everything is moving forward. So with that, with that really high pace, with that stress in our lives, sometimes we cannot even, I don't know, stay alone for a change. We always need a company. We always need to get away from ourselves. Why? Because of the voices in our head or here, right? That come up with that nagging question, and you don't know how to answer it. And here's the answer. Actually, going back to your inner me or inner I and working through it, and you get the skill, and that's the best part. It's not just okay, like I give you the book, okay, goodbye. No, you actually get the skill that you can use wherever you are. And that actually these techniques were used a lot in the military, so that they can adjust to different situations easily, so that they know that they can actually change the reality. There is an axiom that if you deny, I do not recommend you using the program, but if you accept it, you're going to gain so much benefits. You're going to reap all the benefits from your life. Because as I said, that actually gets you easier from point A to point B. It gets you much faster, because the fastest way to change your reality is through subconscious, right? And MasterKit easily, it just like so easily takes you from point A to point B in a rocket. So you notice how things change rapidly. There was one thought that I wanted to mention, but I forgot. Yeah, there was something.
Something. It's okay. You'll remember it as we're talking.
So there's a lot of things that we can talk about, but I think we sort of gave the overview. And if you guys have questions, just follow up with myself or Alina. We'll tell you more. We'll give you the link so that you can start looking at yourself without judgment, without I don't know, good or bad. Just becoming more mindful. So making that mindfulness a skill, and using your stress to actually as a power to change things, not trying to release it every time or trying to hide from it. We cannot hide from it because it's an energy, right? And we know that energy doesn't, it is there. So money is the energy. Everything material is the energy. So if we deny the energy, it basically means that we deny the world. So you cannot deny stress. You cannot deny money, because it's all the material stuff. It's all the energy. It's just the best way to use it is actually utilize it. Use it as a fuel to actually get to that point. When you, for example, one really good thing about MasterKit techniques is that you don't have to live those moments in your life. For example, you have a fear of falling. You don't have to fall, but you actually, through that, through the work-throughs, right, through those 10-15 minute exercises, you create that artificial moment in your life, or you go back to that moment in your life and you review it, and things change, things happen. I won't tell you that information because you need the knowledge to understand it, but it's pretty easy. It's easy to understand and comprehend, and it's really easy to use in your life. So the reason I chose to actually use it, because number one, it makes me independent. I don't have to tell some of my scariest stories, my dark sides, to a psychologist. I don't have to share it to with other people, because sometimes we all have our skeletons, right? And in our closet. So we don't really want to open that side of us to other people. Sometimes we don't even want to open it to us. So in that sense, it's actually really good that you don't need anyone. You just need you and the tool.
Yeah.
And you can just work with yourself and, become more independent, become more mindful, and make it a skill that you can use throughout your life. So it's basically it's basically an investment. It's like buying an iPhone, but it's like
It is.
100 times better.
Yeah, it is an investment. Like I look into it like as I invest into things like laptop, iPhone, like physical materialistic stuff that make us happy, make our life convenient. This is investment into my mind, into my
Yeah.
health,
Into our
like
mental
long
health,
term.
right?
Yeah, I invest into my mental health long term, and I see how it affects not only me. It because you know how they say you can't make anyone happy unless if you're happy. So I'm like, you need to work on yourself first. You need to put yourself in the right mindset. You need to find what makes you happy, and then you it's like your big fire. And if you're like flaming and you're how do you call those? And the little sparks are flying away from you, then you set up things on fire. In a like, I mean, it sounds horrible, set things on fire, but if you can set people on fire with their dreams, with their goals, with their like health, it's amazing. And that's how that's why I totally interrupted you, but that's why I also joined. And basically, and whoever and all those people that I know that been practicing and utilizing that tool is it is one of the best investments that people make. Like so far I made it myself. My number one thing that I've been telling my friends was my braces. They're like, oh, this is the best investment runner. And once I discovered Master Kit, once I started learning, not only that, once I start seeing the results, like once maybe like they're not noticeable on the outside, but once I start feeling the results inside, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much calmer. I feel so much nicer. Like I feel like content. And then now I joke about that. Okay, Master Kit, my first runner, then invest into my braces. So if we invest into things, like why don't we invest into ourselves, right?
Because as somebody said, we come into this life like, us. There's only us, and when we're gone, it's always also us. Like we don't own anything if you think about it. We only own ourselves. So let's
Yeah.
own it, right?
Yeah.
One of my latest results that I saw, and I just like actually calculated it. Master Kit is basically your 5 appointments with a psychologist. So it's 1,000 USD, and you can use it for 3 months. And then after the 3 months end, you will prolong it. You'll extend it. So I've been using it for 2 years now, right? And like I know I put my goals as like in March. I put my goals to see 3 new places. I put it in March. So in May, I went to Moscow to meet my sister. We went to a great open day conference of the Super Ego company, creator of this product. And then after that, we went to Istanbul in Turkey. We really enjoyed our trip there. So like that was 2 in a row. And then we came back, and then we were thinking about, we should go on a honeymoon. And then 10 days later, after we said that, we
With
went
your
to
husband,
Hawaii.
not your sister.
Oh yeah, with my husband. Yeah.
I'm like,
No, after I came back from the trip with my sister, and then my husband and I were thinking, like I sort of like want to visit some really good place and enjoy it, right? Not the all-inclusive stuff, but actually like the,
feel it.
actually feel the good stuff, like go to great restaurants, eat the fish that's like that's been just caught by a very famous what do you call it, fisherman.
Fishermen,
that
I guess.
yeah, they go really like deep down into the ocean, on the level of like 800 feet, and they catch that specific fish, and like 8 hours later it's in your plate. It was amazing. Like whatever we've experienced in Hawaii, it was awesome. And like I even bought a really nice bag that I really wanted. And like even before, I wouldn't probably do that. I would say, okay, we've spent a lot of money, like let's stop, right? But then I was working through that, the self-esteem, and I was the norm of life, right? So I'm like, okay, why not? I really like this bag, and I bought my first LV in Hawaii. um, Actually, for the people who don't know how to pronounce, we say Hawaii, right? But in Hawaii, they say Hawaii. So Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii.
It's
So
Hawaii.
cute.
Um, and after that, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much done with my trips, like, because I put the goals like of 3 trips. So in those last 3 months, I've traveled to 3 different places, and then the last one, I traveled to Kazan when we actually that just happened like 5 days ago, I guess. Yeah, I just came back recently, so I'm jet lagged. Um, we went to my I went to my fourth trip. Awesome. And when I was going to Kazan, I went to Paris first, and again, like I always wanted to travel business class. So I've traveled business class only once when I was like 18. 10-hour flight, Amsterdam, Vancouver was awesome. Incredible experience, but I actually wanted to experience it, in a more conscious way, I would say, and to experience it as a normal person. Not that it's something like, oh my God, like it's something incredible, or like that can happen once in a lifetime. No, like I see people traveling business class, and I'm like, I want that too, right? So like I was um, working through with the tool, because it's easy. You just open the website
The
or the
app,
app,
yeah.
and you do that technique, and 1 2 3, it's done. So we go to the like to the check-in. Mine was a priority, so I went with a priority. And I was asking, like, can you please check my seat? Like mine is 11G, it's a premium economy. They're like, no, yours is a business class. I'm like, huh, thank you. And then they gave me yeah, because I made it sort of normal thing for myself, right? And they gave me the pass to a business lounge. That was super awesome. And then the 8 hours to Paris, I was able to sleep like a normal person, with my legs stretched, with the champagne, with vintage wines, and with good food, just enjoying it. And I'm like, okay, that's the way to travel. Not like this scrouch and, having your backpack right here and so many people.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying it's bad. It's just a different experience. And after I've experienced it, I'm like, okay, I want more of that. And I did the calculation, even the last thing, right? So even my last trip, so business class, YYZ to Charles de Gaulle is $605,000, and I paid merely $600 or $700. So pretty much, like, I don't know, 10 times, right?
Hmm.
Like if you
That is,
think
yeah.
about the investment, I just purchased the tool ones that gave me the skill to transform those things in my life easily. And it's
Hmm.
not only that, like I got my phone, I got a phone for my mom, I got AirPods for her. I got what else?
All the
Another
goodies.
phone, another
Yeah.
AirPods, another like a diamond what do you call it?
Necklace.
Necklace, um, for my in-law. So lots of really good things, and like I was able to present them those gifts for Christmas, for New Year's, and those things came into my life like this in a flow. It was so easy. It was so nice. Like you don't have to really be stressed about it. About
Hmm.
that holiday thing that that we're really concerned with consuming, and making sure that we um, I don't know,
Yeah.
have enough money to
What?
put every
Yeah, and
like
then you're like hating, you look in your bank account, and like
yeah,
that's one of the, and even in my head, I was always like, because my dad is an accountant and I grew up like my dad would make me write reports at the age of 12, 13, like how I spend my allowance, like $20. And he
Mm-hmm.
was always telling me like the money love to be counted. And I had that mindset in my head, like, oh, like I always have to keep track of money. And I was that type of person. I lived a good life, but I was always like, oh, I need to make sure I'm counting them right. I need to make sure I'm counting like, and that's why, because I was so stuck into like, I have to fit into that budget. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like opening my mind into like, oh wait, if I want this, but I have budget for that, like why am I shortening what I have where I can expand? And that's how like organically, like once I changed my mindset, like somehow money start like
Yeah.
money and like not even in monetary way, like little things start coming to my into me, like money or like presents or like even the winning some contest, like little things like that start coming to me. And I was like, oh, and it's basically because I broke that barrier, that sphere of basically whatever was said in my head before, like by my parents or by society. And also I was comparing it when I was thinking of purchasing the master kit, which I was like, okay, like I want to invest in myself. Like how can we invest into gym membership? We pay, I don't know, a month and fit. Like we don't have problems paying $100 every month, but we don't go to the gym. And but whenever you tell people like, oh, I purchased this tool, it helps me with my mental health, and I tell them like it was 1,000 US, and people are like, oh my God, you crazy, this is crazy to spend so much money. And then I go, okay, how much money you spend on your gym? Like, oh, I spend like, I don't know, 60, $70 per month. I'm like, okay, how, like looking at you, you don't really like look like you go to the gym very often, to be honest. Like, I mean, like, and what is the benefit of your gym membership? Like, you're paying for something that you don't use, or like, oh, you bought that nice, I don't know, piece of cloth. Yeah, like people have their own things that they want to do. Like, I, for example, want to invest into like I personally want to invest into buying things from like beginners, entrepreneurs, develop, and that's my money on them because I'm helping other person grow. But then I see people who spend so much money on stuff that doesn't make them happy. They buy it only because they think if I buy this,
Just
it's
to
gonna make me
make,
happy.
to
Yeah,
sort of like fill that
to
emptiness.
cover. Yeah. So and I'm like, and I yeah, I just go. It's not the way to live. You need to buy stuff because you want it, because it's like extra, little extra pieces that put your life into happiness. Anyways, we've been talking for such a long time,
Yeah, I
but
know.
the whole but it was a great conversation. I just wanted to all the audience who's listening, who's watching, who will be watching it later, just if you 2019 is coming, you if you really want to change your life, if you're like stuck in something and you want to get like excel, or if you're a successful person and you want to excel too, this is the time to invest into your mental health. This is the time to invest into you. Like, don't care about others. Like, invest into yourself, buy the product, use it, use and abuse it. Like, honestly, use it and abuse it. And then you'll be like, it's basically such a big support. It's like, I actually calculated how much money I spent on buying books, online seminars, workshops, and what was the results from that investment. And I would say it was like negative because I went into negative financially. But so far, with that's such a small investment into the tool master kit, like I already achieved so much within me. And like I see like little like winnings in my life that happen once I feel open to talk about it, because I know Myra, I've been using for such a long time. She feels more, I guess, comfortable talking about it. I hopefully will feel comfortable talking about it too. Like the little things that I can talk about,
Well,
but
there are
there are a
lots of
lot,
personal achievements that I have that are really personal to me, and I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
that you don't,
I got it, but I'm not gonna tell it to people because it's my own
yeah,
thing. But and those little things, right? Those non-material important things that actually make us more content. And
yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Plus the bonuses as material gifts, as upgrades to business classes that you don't have to pay for and save
yeah,
like $5,000.
Yeah.
and million other things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. What a
So yeah,
power,
let's finish this up.
power,
So you'll find those books. You'll find those
production,
two
it all
books,
works.
and
Yeah, if you like, I know there are people who are interested. Shoot me a message like to Myra. We will send you links to those books. It's amazing. Like, don't miss that amazing opportunity and invest in yourselves. We're all ourselves. You can't you can read 1,000, but you can't blame other people for like, oh, I read that book, but I haven't achieved. Yeah, because that book was
yeah,
just covering what you need to do. No, like the only way you can get better is actually just sitting in front of yourself and working with yourself.
I'm doing it.
And
Yeah.
since the new year is coming, set up a goals. You want to achieve great things. Invest into your health, invest into yourself, invest into it's a long-term like investment. I highly encourage people to use it, buy it, and talk about it and have open conversation. And yeah, it benefits you, it benefits your loved ones, it benefits your relatives, because you are basically a reflection of like your outside is a reflection of whatever happening on the inside. Like you can't cover, if you're feeling like shit, you can't cover it with a smile. You could like for 5 minutes, but in the long term it's gonna suck. Anyways,
Yeah. So apart from the books, Alina has, and I also have, in the tap link in Instagram, there is a link to the free sign up. Like you can sign up for the free trial of the program and see it. Like after you do the program, you can actually purchase it right away inside of the program. So as Alina said, you don't have to wait for New Year's. You don't have to write the New Year resolution and start a new page of your life. The life is right now, right here as we speak. So we cannot procrastinate or postpone our life. That's the worst thing we can do to ourselves, to say, oh, I'll do it later. Later is such a bitch word. We only have the now. We only
yeah,
have now. And that's what mindfulness is about, right? Like being in the now, because that's
yeah,
when we can actually influence whatever is happening right now. So make up your mind. If you guys have any questions, you can let us know. Shoot us an email, message, well, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever. And I hope you make that gift to yourself, to your inner kid, you know, and you're gonna
yeah,
feel whatever we're talking about, because when you talk about it, it's not the same as
when you
you
feel
feel
it.
it. Yeah, and you don't have
Yeah,
to explain it to the world. People just see it.
yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Thank
yeah,
you
we're
so
gonna
much,
wrap
Myra,
up.
for your time. I love you very
Me
much, and
too.
I love myself very much
Yes.
for gifting this. And like, there's another alter Alina who's like, "Good job, Alina, you did it.
Yeah.
Thank you." Like I don't know how to explain. I'm just like the love for myself just grew even bigger, and I'm
Yeah,
so
I
grateful
know, right?
for me. Yeah, it's like, and you can't like, no matter what happens in life, it's just you can't deny yourself, right? Anyways, as I said,
Yeah.
we're
So
finishing this
please, guys,
live.
follow Alina. She's a great speaker. She knows a lot that she doesn't give enough credit to herself, but she's gonna be a great mentor, as she already is, and the way she explains things is really awesome. So live in
Thank
the
you.
now,
It's,
and give this
yeah,
gift.
yes, and you worth your wishes, like your life
Yeah.
worth your wishes and your dearest and deepest desires.
Okay.
And on that